Okay, so like I said, the first thing that we're going to start off with is a little bit of just some background, just so we can get to know you a little bit better and see your experiences and stuff like that. So if you could just say your full name for me, so we're getting it recorded.
Well, my full name is Margo Matthews Margo Goertz.
And your parents' name?
Jane and Emil Dabaval, but they called him Milo, M-I-L-O.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And what is that last name with Dabaval?
Dabaval is French.
It's French? Oh, okay. Never heard of that.
But it's from France. It's not
Cajun. So is Jeremy, though. Like, It's a French name. So, and your parents were from Louisiana? Like from
My
Maine?
dad, well, this was his home.
Yeah.
And my mother was from Lake Charles.
Okay.
She was an Eddy, Jane Eddy. And she came here to teach, and my daddy sang, and so she played the piano. So they were in a play together. So that's the way they met.
Did they do that like as an occupation like later,
Oh,
or it was just a hobby?
No. Oh, no. Daddy just had a beautiful voice, and he sang in the choir and any other shows that they put on in Rain. He would sing for it.
What were your parents' occupation? Like, what did your father do other than Mervyn?
My daddy worked at Mervyn Cons.
Just that
was it.
The entire time. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're married? You have children?
I am married. My husband died in 2004, and well, we had moved here from Houston in '89, and my husband was retired, and we're living in my house, my mom and daddy's house. I'm sleeping in the bedroom I was born in.
Wow.
And I have 5 children, yes. 5 children.
And when and where were you born? Were you born
in Rain.
In Rain?
Yeah. In my bedroom.
Yeah.
That's okay.
In what year were you born?
1932.
So you grew up the majority of your life in Rain, like
Oh yes.
Since you lived in Houston, so there's a time.
No, after I was married. When we were married right out of college from SLI. Went to the service and was in the service for 3 years. And then came back and lived in Metairie. And then we moved to Houston. And then we came to Rain.
What did you graduate with in college?
I graduated home economics.
What does that entail?
Well, I don't even know what they call it now. It was sewing and cooking and just that, but I never got my teacher's certificate.
Oh, okay. What branch of the military was your husband in?
My husband was in the Air Force. At SLI, they had the Air Force ROTC then. I noticed they have Army now, huh?
Yeah, they have Army.
Yeah. It was Air Force then, and he got commissioned when we graduated and went into the service.
So one of the things that we're also trying to categorize is how Rain has changed from when you grew up here to now. So tell me about what it was like living in Rain growing up.
Oh, it was very easy living. Yeah, we rode our bicycles all over. We went out in the woods. We just, on our own. Skated all over town. It was just, we weren't, go to the picture show.
They had a theater in Rain?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, we had one, and then it closed, and they opened another one. And oh yeah, going to the picture show, and we called it the picture show. And that was fun. But I mean, mainly we walked anywhere we wanted to go. I went to the elementary school where the little kindergarten school is. Then I went to high school here and graduated in 1950, and then went to SLI and graduated in 54.
What kind of places did your family shop at? Like
Mervyn Cons.
They had everything that's at Mervyn Cons?
Oh my gosh, Mervyn Cons had everything. Well, when I was young, they had a grocery store. And everybody from around here shopped at Mervyn Cons. But they had a grocery store, they had a hardware store, they had a men's department, and then they had the main part of the store, and they sold fabric and lingerie. I'm trying to think of what I can remember. I mean, they just sold anything. There was a shoe department, there was a dress department, and they sold good merchandise. Like the men's department, they had just great suits, because men wore suits then, and it was just good.
What about what has changed in the downtown area since when you were growing up?
Well, there's no more Mervyn Cons.
Yeah.
And just along that street, there was a Mervyn Cons. At one time, there was a bank. There was a bar. There was Sol Cons on the corner. There was a little dress shop. And of course, all that is gone. That was just that block, though. And then they had People's Drugstore on the corner. And where the Mervyn Cons warehouse is now a restaurant. Well, I think they have special parties there. And of course, Mervyn Cons now is a reception area. So it has changed very much. 5 and 10 cent store, it's still there. Worth more.
Yeah. It's also just in the time that you grew up, they had a lot of like radio programs and stuff. Do y'all listen to a lot of those? Is that something that was popular in your family?
Yeah.
Like the radio
I guess we listened to the radio when I was little. I remember I used to listen to KSIG from Crowley when I was a teenager, because they played all the good music at that time.
Do you remember any of like the entertainment programs that they had, like?
You mean in rain?
Well, just on the radio, like, because I know just from even me growing up, there was like story stuff that they would do on the radio.
I don't remember them, really. I know, I'm sure I listened to a lot of them, but I don't remember.
What about TV shows and just things like that later on?
No, I don't think I didn't have a TV until I got married in 54.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we used to put on stage shows where we had when I was little, they had a Mardi Gras ball, and everybody had costumes, and that was at the Southside Gym, and they still have the Southside Gym. And but the Lions Club would put on shows, stage shows, and I was in a few shows on the stage, but it was just a lot of fun.
What do you think is one of the biggest events that has happened to Rain in the last 100 years or so? Like,
oh gosh, Most probably the Frog Festival. That's.
How old is the Frog Festival?
I think it's 43 years. Oh, you'll have to get that down.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of that. Yeah, but that's a big event here. And, well, they've added on to the high school. They've got a big gym there now. And when I was in high school, there was just one main building. And we had a home economics house. And well, I was in home economics all my life.
Do you think that having the interstate go through rain made a difference in the area?
Yes, I would think so. And I don't know whether you've seen any of our murals.
From the interstate?
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, the ones you can see.
But we have them all over town. And they were painted in the early 90s. Because my husband and I moved here in 89. And they started up all the painting of the murals all over town. Frog murals.
So what are some of your first memories of the Mervyn Kahn store?
Well, oh my goodness. My mama didn't drive a car. So she walked to Mervyn Kahn's. I bet, I don't know how many times a week. Just to go down there because you could go and get groceries. Well, actually, she would telephone to Mervyn Kahn's and tell them what she wanted, and they would deliver it. With a little wagon pulled by a horse. That was good. What do I remember? I remember just going in the store and all these girls that worked in there. I guess I knew everybody in the whole store. And, I mean, Mama bought all the fabric there and made all my clothes. And my daddy worked upstairs in the office. I just knew everybody. That was what was nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they had like everyday items there and like special occasions items where they had maybe, so you could buy anything at Mervyn Kahn's?
Well, I didn't buy my wedding dress there.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have wedding dresses, but they had beautiful lingerie. Like I said, they had fabrics.
Did they ever have
shoes?
Shoes?
Yeah, shoes. We had. Oh yeah. And then they had a baby department. That's right, they did. I forgot about that. They had a baby department in the back, and you could buy baby, everything for the baby.
Did they ever have like maybe special collections that would come through every once in a while, or was it kind of like a set type of stock that you could get there?
No collection.
Like special designers that would come or something?